Okay, there we go. I had forgotten to turn on voice meter. Hi everybody, how's it going? Oh man, weird. We're doing some fates today. Hi, welcome back. It's been a long couple of weeks, hasn't it? So yeah, this is gonna be a stream of all streams to just kind of keep my eyes from burning out of my skull. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Good news, the rigging is done. There's still a lot more to go. I've got a lot of testing that I've got to do, and I will probably be tweaking it off and on until right up until the debut. There's still a few things with the proportions, and obviously VTube Studio has a whole lot of adjustments that I've got to play around with. So we're gonna do our best with that. But yeah, I've still got like 20, 23, 22 days left on my license, so we're going to yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. But now it's time for like backgrounds. It's time for, there we go. Yeah, it's time for backgrounds. It's time for bumpers, interstitials, all of that good stuff. You know, I'm honestly a lot less worried about a lot of that than I was the actual rigging. But yeah, it's nice to finally be done with that and be able to move on to a couple of other things. I did post a little preview up on the old X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Yeah, it's just a quick little clip. Just me in my head, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm very, very happy with it. I have really no complaints at all. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting the rest of the other stuff down. But yeah, we're entering the final phases. But yeah, that's really been most of my most of the past couple of weeks for me. You know, that and the actual job. Naturally, my real life job has me doing this whole like day on, day off thing. So it's been a little bit difficult to just like sit down and really burn through a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get done. But it's nice to finally be over with. But the good news is, you know, now I have a pretty good grasp of how Live 2D works. You know, I will probably put myself up on offer for other people that might be interested in having some models rigged for you. Again, I'm still very much a beginner, but considering this model was so complex, I feel like I've got a pretty good idea of how to handle much less complex models. So yeah. But for the rest of the night, we're just gonna be doing some fates because I wanted something to kind of just hang out and get a little bit done. And you know, we've got to get this stuff done before the expansion comes out anyway. So it was really between this and Elite Dangerous again, I guess. Yeah, how's everyone been doing? I hope everything's been going well. You know, it's kind of a lazy, what is it? Is it Tuesday? I have lost all track of time. I'm not gonna lie. I have generally no concept of what day or hour it is at this point. It's, yeah, I mean, I'm very, very thankful that the real life job has mostly been very short shifts, like 4-hour shifts, usually in the evening, so I can sleep in. You know, it's more my time that I would be naturally waking up, so it makes it a lot easier for me to get in here and get some stuff done in the evenings. Yeah, it's just been a weird couple of weeks, to say the least. But, you know, I can't really complain all that much, though, because I think learning new skills, especially computer-related and art-related, is never a bad thing. That's stuff that you will be able to use for other projects do it for other people maybe in the future. You know, it's really, the world is your oyster, you know, if you decide to go that route, I suppose. Like I said, it still needs some tweaking. You know, I've been getting into VTube Studio, trying to do my tweaking there and getting a little bit done on the back end of that. You can kind of tell. I mean, I'm not an artist, so things like perspective and eye size and location when you move is always a little bit tricky, but a lot of the issues that I had when I was actually in Live 2D, it turned out really did not translate all that much into VTube Studio. Whether it's my actual settings that I've got it, built in there, it's just kind of skipping some of the stuff that I rigged, but is there just in case, that kind of thing. But overall, not too bad. Again, it's going to be a little bit of tweaking, so we'll just play it and play along with it as it comes. If I do end up getting the Live 2D, like the full version of it instead of the trial, then it'll be tweaked and played around with well into the future, even after the debut, until I get it just right. But I'm already thinking about some of the thumbnails and that kind of thing that I can make finally after all this time. The only downside is I do not have vBridger, which I know is a really big thing nowadays, so I did not rig anything that would be vBridger specific, so I'm not going to be able to smirk or anything like that, other than what's already built into my basic rigging anyways, right? But overall, I'm very happy with it, and it's kind of nice that at the end of a project, you can look at it and go, you know what, I did this, right? I think sometimes we can get very down on ourselves, especially when it comes to art. They always say that we are our own worst critic, which I think is very, very true. I've experienced that plenty of times in my writing exercises and whatnot. But there's also something to be said for actually accomplishing something that you set out to do. Now, if only I could put that much effort into finishing my lessons in Japanese, maybe I'd be a little farther along in that than I am right now. But yeah, aside from that, it's just been a lot of Elite Dangerous in my downtime when I can, and then just doing the regular job. It hasn't been too bad. I've been picking up some manga and stuff to kind of read in the evenings. I finally got my copy of My Love Story with Yamada-kun Volume 1. It got delayed for a little bit. I guess there was a printing issue with the initial run of it. So we had to delay it for like 2 months or something like that. They didn't even tell us what the actual issue was. But I finally got it and burned through all of that in like 30 minutes last night. It helps that I have read most of it up until like chapter 160 or something like that. And like the volumes only cover like the first 9 or 10 chapters or something like that. So it's going to be a while before the actual physical editions are caught up to where I'm at. But it is one of my favorite series. It's something that I don't really mind purchasing. I'll probably do that with Nagatoro when that gets a little bit further along. I'm kind of waiting for, to see if the series is actually going to end, because it kind of feels like they've kind of reached the climax and are just kind of easy now. And they've kind of reached the point where it's kind of winding down, and we're learning a little bit about what's going on in the future, right? But I'm kind of waiting for the third box set for that. It is nice that I can buy all of this stuff for like half off, which is definitely helpful when they don't really pay you much to begin with. But yeah, aside from that, it's been that. It's been, I don't think, come to think of it, I don't think we've really talked about the live letter, have we? So now that we are here in Final Fantasy XIV again, let's go ahead and talk about that, shall we? Why not? I don't see a reason not to. I didn't do my traditional live letter watch along for a couple of reasons. I had to work that afternoon, so I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to be able to stream or even be up for the stream. But the other thing is, traditionally the job live letters have been very, very long, like 4 to 6 hours, because Yoshi P wants to go over every little detail with each of the job changes, right? And it was kind of nice to see this time that even he was like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. I can't do these 6-hour live letters when it comes to the job changes. So it was just kind of a brief overview of everything. And yeah, a lot of really good changes. I know most of my Discord discussions have been over monks at the moment, trying to see how all of the big monk changes are going to affect it in the future. I think that was probably one of the wildest ones. Astrologian, I came in a little bit late, but I think Astrologian had quite a few changes to it that people are kind of excited about. But yeah, monks seemed like the biggest because they're changing up a few things. You know, the overall flow of it is apparently supposed to kind of stay relatively similar to what it was, but all of the other stuff involving that seems like it's going away. So yeah, they're just kind of streamlining everything. It is always really funny though, because every time they mention that they're going to be streamlining stuff, you know, they mentioned that they're going to be doing essentially the auto rotate for certain abilities and that kind of thing. And naturally, a whole lot of people are like, "Oh, they're babying up the game. They're making it too easy." And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, they're doing this so they can add more buttons. Like, we're still going to have way more buttons because apparently people forget that at level 100, you know, that means we've got more things to do, right? So overall, it seems like the overall flow will change quite a bit. I'm kind of curious what they were talking about when he was saying that some of the rotations might actually have to change up a little bit. I don't think it'll be too significant, at least for what I play, because I'm a red mage and we're already the perfect class, right? But some of the other stuff seemed kind of interesting. I was really surprised that Dragoon really did not seem to have as many changes as I thought. You know, they'd been hyping up this big class rework for Dragoon for a while, right? And then, you know, it seemed like they were removing some of the extraneous stuff and just kind of smoothing things out. But overall, it didn't really feel like a complete class rework that I was expecting. Not like the big class reworks like they've done in the past, right? So that was kind of curious. We'll see how that plays whenever it actually comes out. But I'm kind of excited to jump back into Dragoon. I think I've got one on max level on one of my ults, so give that a shot. And then, of course, you know, I've got my red mage. That's not really changing a whole lot, smoothing out the AoE versus single target, you know, combo attacks and that kind of stuff. But overall, it seems like not a whole lot is really significantly going to change. So, yeah, it'll still be red mage. I'll still probably be doing my guides for it, and not a whole lot probably going to change. You know, we'll see if I end up doing like an actual raid tier this time around. I know for sure that once the expansion is out and I've had a chance to play around, play around a little bit with it, I'll probably do another Talking to Red that kind of goes over all of the major changes with it, if there's anything major in terms of like the flow of combat or anything like that. But overall, Red Mage didn't really seem like it was going to have too much of a significant difference. It seemed like they're making displacement useful again. It looked like in the job action trailer that there's like a combo attack with displacement that you use immediately after jumping out. So I'm kind of curious about that because I have not really had a chance to use it a whole lot this expansion. But outside of that, you know, really nothing too significant. Just overall smoothing up. I don't think really too much is going to change from the Red Mage that we know and love. I mean, again, we're already a very balanced class. At this point, it's just a matter of, you know, numbers more than anything else. Tweaking the potency of a couple of things and that kind of stuff. But I overall don't think we're going to have too much of a change in rotation. But it would be exciting to see what they're going to be doing with displacement versus, what is it, engagement or something like that. I'm very bad at remembering the names, right? See if maybe some of the boss battles, some of the mechanics need you to kind of weave between them off and on. I feel like we didn't really do that a whole lot this expansion, so yeah, it'd be nice to have a reason to kind of use both, depending on what's going on with a boss, right? Alright. Back into the mines. You know what they say, VTubers crave the mines, and here we are. But yeah, outside of that, you know, I like the way Viper looks. I, I'm not super sold on it just because, not because I think it'll be a bad class or anything like that. I'm just very allergic to melee because I'm very bad at it. But it seemed like it might be a little bit easier to play than some of the other melee, so I might give it a shot. But Pictomancer looks wild. Looks absolutely crazy. You know, and my first thought is that it really kind of looked like Summoner. It's just instead of different elemental attacks, you have your, you know, your canvases, right? But then they throw the paint gauge into it. And yeah, I've really got no clue what to expect with it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, but also could potentially have a pretty high skill cap in terms of, you know, min-maxing or anything like that. And you guys know me, I'm not really much of a min-maxer, but, you know, really trying to figure out when is the best time to use your paint gauge, you know, switch from light to dark paint and that kind of thing. It seems like it could be pretty complex. I am very, very excited about it. I think it looks like a lot of fun. It is definitely a very, very pretty class. I really, just really enjoyed the animations for it. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see how it actually feels when it comes time to play it. There we go. But again, yeah, I think it kind of surprised some people in terms of how complex it could potentially be. But that could be fun. You know, we had an expansion with a couple of fairly easy jobs, so now it's time to really kind of crank it back up and get to a little bit more complexity, right? But yeah, I'll definitely be doing a little bit of Pictomancer. You know, I don't think it's going to be one of those things that I'm going to main right out of the gate. I might end up doing a little bit of Pictomancer and get it up to level 100, or at least level 90 for the early access period. Play around with it a little bit, and then maybe do the MSQ a couple of days after the official release. You know, I've talked about it a little bit before. It's just one of those streamer things that's kind of difficult to kind of gauge, because obviously I really want to play it. Like, I really want to just kind of burn through the MSQ and have a good time with it and that kind of thing, right? But as a streamer, I also kind of have to be aware that everyone else is going to be doing that exact same thing. So are people really going to be watching it? Because everyone's going to be playing it themselves, right? So it's kind of a tricky situation between being a fan and being a streamer. So we'll play along with it. Either way, we're going to have FF14 content. Like, at Dawn Trail release, it's basically going to be 2 to 3 weeks straight of just Final Fantasy 14. It's just a matter of deciding when I'm actually going to do the MSQ itself. It might be right off the bat, it might be a couple days after release. I don't know. But either way, there's going to be tons of content to enjoy. I'm not super concerned with running out of things to do if I'm not doing the MSQ, right? So just kind of be aware. I know I've mentioned it in the past couple of streams too, but I feel like it's always kind of good to remind people who maybe have not watched those VODs or are just coming in for the first time. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And I will probably keep reminding people every time we hop into the game until then. But the good news is, you know, with the rigging done on Westshore 2.0, his name isn't going to be Westshore. I'll be doing like a whole promotional thing in the coming days, right? But, you know, I'll be talking about FF14 a little bit in the debut. Hopefully, with the hardest part being done, it should mean that we should be able to get our debut out before Dawn Trail comes out. So yeah, that's really exciting. I'm super, super happy about that. I was really worried about it. I mean, at this point, I was really worried about getting everything done before my free trial is up Life 2D. But, you know, being able to get it done before Dawn Trail, that's definitely good. You know, I'm a little scared of the background. I would like to get it done soon. I might just have to go into Studio Neo or something like that and just make it there, and then maybe go into Photoshop and kind of like rotoscope it or something like that. Thankfully, I'm a little bit better at art when it comes to static objects. I'm very bad at proportions when it comes to people, but I feel like drawing chairs and desks is really, I'm not terrible at it. I'm not the best. I'm not gonna be, you know, a landscape artist or anything like that anytime soon. But yeah, I can at least get it passable, right? I wouldn't even be opposed to trying to get into Blender and do it, but I don't know if I'm quite that confident in learning that in the amount of time that we've got left. Yeah, I think the background is really the only other big holdup. I think everything else, once I actually sit down and have some time to actually get it done, it'll go pretty smoothly. The logo I'm kind of stuck on. You know, I'm going to be working the next couple of days. I might just bring a notebook. And, you know, it's middle of the week, so it's usually pretty slow. And maybe just use that time while I'm at the cash register to, you know, maybe get some sketches out and get some concepts done of it. But yeah, the background I'm a lot more worried about than I am the logo or the interstitials or anything like that. The interstitials, for whatever reason, I'm just completely not worried about those at all. I feel like it's because I've made so many pre-made videos over the years and guides and that kind of thing. I'm pretty confident when it comes to After Effects and Premiere. You know, just doing graphics is really not too terrifying to me these days. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about, right? Like, it's kind of weird to think about when I first started doing things like Premiere. And you'll hear every artist tell you, right? You can't learn it overnight. The people who are professional artists have put years and years of practice into it. And it's really easy to kind of, I don't know, just kind of give up on it, right? Like, everyone knows that it's difficult, but they don't necessarily have the time or the patience to really put the time into it. But when you look back at the things that you have put the time into, in my case, doing video editing, like, it's kind of wild. Like, how easy that stuff is for me nowadays. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the highest professional quality, but, like, I'm not super terrified of it like it used to be. I don't really get super nervous these days or really sit down worried staring at a blank Premiere screen trying to figure out what I want to do next. Like, I can get in and start cutting and that kind of stuff fairly quickly. So yeah, you know, it is definitely true. The more practice you put into it, then the better you're going to get. And it's just one of those things you don't really notice until hindsight, right? Until a few years down the line. And you kind of look back at how far you've come. And hopefully, you know, Live 2D and VTubing and all of that will eventually become one of those things. We still got a little bit of a ways to go in terms of Live 2D stuff, but yeah, it's coming along. I've leveled up. I've learned a new skill. Yay! There we go. The other good thing is, like, my model is super complicated. I think I talked about this last stream, but I really cannot emphasize it enough now that I've actually finished all of the rigging and done all of the mouth movements and that kind of thing. There's still a few things that I don't entirely understand in terms of, like, mouth forms and that kind of thing. Like I understand the concept of how they work. It's more where I should be placing certain mouth forms on the keyframes, right? And then also how to adjust for that in VTube Studio. Like, the actual editing of it isn't too bad. But yeah, where to put certain things on the timeline is still a little confusing to me in terms of that kind of stuff, you know, the placement of it. So that's another thing that I gotta kind of tweak and play around with and that kind of thing, right? But overall, you know, nice. But overall, yeah, you know, it's really not too bad. The plus side of having such a complicated model is that learning Live 2D on a super detailed model that has lips and shine and coloring and all of this other stuff is that I can move into doing easier models and simpler models much sooner. If this, I said it a billion times in the last stream, but it definitely still holds true. Probably even more now that I'm actually done. If this was a more traditional anime style model, this really would not have been as frustrating, I think, as it was. But I figure if you're going to learn, you might as well go ahead and start with as complicated as you can. because once that is done, then going down to like simpler models is really no problem at all. And I shouldn't even say simpler necessarily, because there's a lot of traditionally anime style models with like super complex hair and eyes and that kind of thing, right? And you know, that doesn't even get into some of the accessories and stuff so that some of these pros have in like HoloLive and VShojo and whatnot, right? But I should say, like, the art style is a little more cartoonish. It's a little more traditionally anime. As I mentioned before, and again, you can even see it in that little preview clip. It's only like 15 seconds. It's basically me saying hi, right? But you can kind of tell just from looking at my head. It's a little bit of a mix between anime and like a painterly style. I think I compared it to like the original Iris model in HoloLive, right? So yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot more detail in certain areas than you would have in traditional anime. I open up my mouth and you can actually see the ridges of my inner mouth and my super highly complex and detailed tongue. I'm not entirely sure that was necessary, but you know what? There we go. I decided, you know, I don't have the bridger. I'm not going to do a whole lot with the tongue. It's not going to stick out or anything like that. It turns out that of all of the things that I was trying to rig, the tongue was the most complex. Because every time I tried to adjust something on like X or Y, it ended up messing up what it looked like in the mouth forms. Like, I don't know why. It just, they did not play well at all. The tongue was too powerful. So yeah, it's gonna stay inside the mouth, and it's gonna stay relatively the same the entire time. That's fine. I'm cool with that. It's easier for me. I don't really think my model necessarily needed a crazy cartoonish and complex tongue. But I appreciate it. I appreciate the time and the art that went into it. My mama did a very, very good job getting all of it done. And you know what? Once I have a little bit more of an idea of what I'm doing in Live 2D, you know, she was nice enough that she actually gave me 2 PSDs. I used the simplified version that's like just over 100 layers. I did a little bit of merging and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's essentially for the trial version of Live 2D. But she also gave me one with all of the layers, like everything broken down. So if I do eventually get more comfortable with Live 2D, I have the full PSD with everything broken down into completely unique layers. And I can go back in and I can really do some complex rigging in the future if I decide to. You know, I really cannot praise her enough, because she really did go above and beyond in getting this model done. And just some of the side stuff that she did. Like, I didn't pay for a more complex model. She was just like, you know, you said you were using the trial version for a little bit, so I just kind of did this on my own for your sake. And, you know, I really cannot emphasize enough how much I love my VTuber mama. So look forward to that. We're going to be doing all of the announcements and revealed and all of that stuff during the debut, and after that, you know, you'll have links to her website and all of that. But I am super excited to introduce you all to her. Some of you have probably already seen some of her work. I don't know how many other indie VTubers are using her models, but I know she's got a couple free ones out and about that are also really good. So yeah, I just hope she's ready. I hope she's ready for more business. Sometimes that can be a boon and a burden, right? I think we've all been there. All right, there we go. Yeah, you know, I'm very excited about it. And outside of that, yeah, it's just been, you know, it's been staring at Live 2D and working, and then really not doing a whole lot else. I haven't even caught up on the new season of Bridgerton yet. I haven't even started. I think this is the first season my mom's beat me to it. I think she binge watched it all the other night. And yeah, I really need to watch it because I'm that guy. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for sappy period dramas. Don't judge me. I like Bridgerton and I really want to watch it. I mean, come on. We're Final Fantasy XIV players. We just kind of have a native relation to Bridgerton anyways because of Jonathan Bailey, so I don't even know if he's in this new season all that much. Probably not, but I gotta throw in the support anyways, right? Anything to give him more work. Here we go. And clear out all of this stuff. Yeah, we're so close. We're so close to our first one, and then I can finally move to another area. Been doing, like, I did do another weapon the other night, just on my own. Just, you know, I really was not in the right mindset to stream. I was just kind of burned out from staring at the computer all day. So I went in and just got another one done. So I've kind of been staring at Outer Lenosha for quite some time now. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for a new location. I don't even care if it takes marginally longer to get the other weapons done. I just want out of here. But yeah, you know, I'm ready to sit down and watch Bridgerton. I did sit down and binge watch Fallout the other night. Now, you know, I've had people requesting on the channel for quite some time for me to play Fallout New Vegas. And after watching the show, I might have to. Like, I've always been more of a Skyrim fan than I have been a Fallout fan. Drink some coffee. So, I didn't really know a whole lot about the story of Fallout. Like, I don't know a whole lot about the lore. I mean, to be fair, I don't really know a whole lot about the lore in Skyrim either. I just point myself in a direction to start beating some things up, right? But yeah, the show is really good. Like, to be honest, it's way better than any video game adaptation that has a right to be. to be real with y'all. So if you have not watched Fallout yet, please give it a watch. It is absolutely fantastic. I am ghoul-pilled. Absolutely. I am 100% Walton Goggin-pilled. I'm Goggin maxing right now. Yeah, I can't wait for the second season. I really hope this doesn't end up being another Netflix thing where they cancel it after one season. Because, you know, it started too high. You know, doing the typical Netflix thing that they're wont to do, right? Because it was absolutely fantastic. I highly enjoyed it. So yeah, you know, once things have died down, we've still got a lot more Horizon to do. We've still got the complete Final Fantasy playthrough. We've been stuck on 8 for like 6 months now. But once things have calmed down and we're through Dawn Trail, later on this year, I'll try and throw in a little bit of Fallout New Vegas at some point. And you know, hey, you know what? I think you know it's coming. You know it's here. It's time for that call to action. If you want to see me play more games than just Final Fantasy XIV, and if you want me to get through Final Fantasy VIII sooner than 6 months, please like and subscribe. Help me escape the chains of retail. Because the sooner that I can escape from retail, then the more games that I can play with you, the more that I can stream, and we can get this stuff done on a reasonable time frame. And sure enough, the more subscribers and the more likes and fans that we have here on the channel, the easier it becomes for me to do that. So if you want to help support the channel, you can always like and subscribe, share among with your friends. I think I've got my Ko-Fi down there, whatever. I don't even know at this point. Yeah, you know, help support the channel. Every little bit counts. Even if you can't support with super chats or anything, like, I totally get it. Again, I work retail. There's a lot of VTubers that I wish that I could support more than I currently am. You know, it's just sharing and just giving me the time of day. All of that helps the algorithm. So, you know, I appreciate it. Every little bit counts. So don't feel like you have to throw in the Red Akka supers or anything like that. I think it's what 10 seconds of view time counts as a view toe. So even that little bit will help out a little bit. So yeah, there you go. There you have it. But until things change, right? We'll put Fallout New Vegas somewhere in the vague vicinity of our future schedule, because I do really want to try and get in there and give it a shot. I have played like a little bit of Fallout 3. I didn't do too well at it. I didn't really mod anything. This was before I really understood how Bethesda games work, right? You know, I was booting up the game and it actually booted up, so that's how I knew I was playing it wrong. So yeah, now that I'm a little bit more, now that I'm a little bit wiser, I can hop into Fallout and maybe have some fun with that. I don't even know what mods are out there and available for Fallout, but I'd like to give it a shot because, yeah, the show got me into it. I mean, it did its job. I know it was kind of made for fans that already kind of understood what Fallout was about already, but as someone that didn't, I mean, it converted me. So, you know, good job. Good job, Netflix, I guess. Yeah, I'm really not even trying with this rotation right now. We're just vibing at this point. Yeah, aside from that, you know, I've got a couple of other things that I've got on the old list to watch. I'm still slowly making my way through Ancient Magus' Bride. There's just so much to watch in so little time. You know, that is kind of the downside with getting all of this work in the way. Like, it would be nice if I could do rigging and background work and stuff while also watching some new anime, but until I'm a little bit further in my Japanese lessons, like I have to be able to sit down and actually read the subtitles and stuff. So I'm really have not had the opportunity to catch up on some of the new stuff. I don't even know what's going on in the K-drama world. So, you know, there's that, I guess. Hey, there we go. I think that's 10. We did it. We escaped. All right, that didn't take as long as I thought it would. I mean, it seems like we're averaging about 40 to 45 minutes per weapon. I'm sure that's going to get a little bit longer now that we're moving into some of these that do not have the giant green box on this spreadsheet, but that's fine. I feel like getting 2 of these weapons per stream is a nice little goal. And it's getting some work done. If we can do this a couple times a week, then we'll have all of our weapons and I'll have the new Ghost. I don't even know what's different about it from the old Ghost, but it's another one. But speaking of, I want the Mountain Zoo, but none of the convenience stores in this area have Mountain Dew with the points. I don't know what the deal is. I want my green zoo, damn it. Where can I buy the Mountain Dew that has the points? I don't mind buying. It's only like, what? Ah, of course. All right. Where can I buy it? It's only like 4 bottles or something like that. I'll buy 4 bottles of Mountain Dew. I'll get that on the way to work every morning. But yeah, it's a cool looking zoo. So where is it? Where's my zoo, Blizzard? Where's my zoo, Square? Almost said Blizzard. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was just reading some stuff about Cataclysm Classic. Really, must we go there, right? But yeah, I've been searching everywhere trying to find it, and I can't find it anywhere. But it is nice that the U.S. finally got our own exclusive one, since we missed the old KFC bucket. I don't even know why I'm getting these. It's really for the bonus stuff, I think. Hey, there we go. Nice. All right, so let me put this on the old checklist. All right, who's next? Hamajiro. We are going to the East Shroud. Interesting. Okay. Don't remember the last time I really did a whole lot in the East Shroud. Kamajiro, where are you? There we go. Hey, this guy. Alright, there we have it. Oh, give me a second. Like, might have to take a break before we go do this next one. Just get a bottle of water. Like, I'm finishing this coffee, but I can kind of feel myself getting a little dry. It's been so hot. We had a nice brief spring and a couple storms, and now it's like 90. Yeah, Midwest, love it. All right, yeah. Let me get a bottle of water real quick. I know it's a little early for our typical break. I mean, I haven't even really been doing breaks a whole lot while we're doing these, but it's been a while since we streamed, so I might, who knows, I might go for 3 weapons. Oh, buddy. We might get really spicy here. But yeah, give me a second. Let me get some water. There we go. I am refreshed. Okay, where were we? So we're going to the East Shroud, I guess. Where is it? There we go. But yeah, so depending on what the schedule looks like it's kind of a slow time at work, so they've been only having me work these short hours. Hopefully the next live letter, I need to take a look at the schedule and see what it is again. Yeah, hopefully the next live letter, we will be back to it. You know, that's the goal. That's the dream. So, yeah, I'm hoping to do another watch along. I think the next one is more story and features, I think, if I remember right. So, let's get over here. All right, Lawrence. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh, this is East Shroud, so I have like no abilities. Got it. Oh, is this like an S level? Interesting. This might not be one that I can get done. We'll see. I have no abilities. I might have gotten in over my head here. My Chocobo is gonna be doing its best. Okay. This is not one that I meant to take by myself, I guess. Well, that's fine. We'll just head up north, I guess. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a watch along up the next live later. But yeah, I think it is going to be story and feature space. So yeah, that one's a little less intimidating than the job one. Had I known that the job one was going to be so short, I probably would have tried to fit it in. But yeah, it was just one of those situations where I really thought it was going to be a lot longer than it actually was. Oh, they're already done. Cool. Good to know. I have 20 seconds to get this done, of course, because it's another blue mage. Why wouldn't it be? Here we go again. I did see that in terms of Bard, that the songs are no longer like damage thingies. So like you don't need to worry about them in terms of like your rotation, I guess. They're just pure buffs. I don't hate the idea. All right, so where are we going next? Like I don't think that I can get down Lazy Lawrence down there. But yeah, you know, I don't know what else they'll talk about. I mean, maybe go into a little bit more detail with like the Moon Foundation stuff that we're doing, like this expansion's Lazy Life Simulator. Because other than that, I really don't know. I feel like everything else that they could potentially talk about, they've already done it. Like they don't want to give away too much. So yeah, I mean, they'll have a little bit to talk about with some back-end stuff, I'm sure. So, you know, you got a little bit to worry about with the new servers and data centers that are coming up, right? So we got that. But aside from that, I don't really know what else they'll talk about. All right, I'm hoping I'm doing enough here. It is nice to have Bard so I can actually get a little bit of damage in. But it's it might be kind of tricky. There we go. I really should just level up Blue Mage at some point. It's one of those things that I just really have not engaged with all that much. As much as I think I would probably like it. It's just a little complicated. I know there's a ton of guides, but I keep losing track of where I left off, and it's kind of one of those things where you kind of got to know where you left off if you're going to do anything with it, right? So, yeah. No Marlboro mount for me yet, as much as I would like one. Okay, what else? Are we just... Okay, yeah, we're escorting him, I guess. Cool. Escort quests, you gotta love them, right? Okay. Yeah, you know, with other stuff, you know, I think the only other thing that I've really watched lately was a Hololive Minecraft, the hardcore server. I mean, you know me, I'm a big Polka stan, right? She is my VTubing Oshi. And you always like really want your Oshi to do well and kind of prove to everyone else what you already know, right? Like, oh, look at how good this VTuber is. But of course she died on like the third day, couldn't come back. But it ended up being kind of a good thing because she is such a good host that she would still go in and do stuff in spectator mode. And yeah, it was a good way to kind of see everything that's going on around the field instead of having, you know, holodecks or whatever open and trying to pay attention to 50 streams all at the same time. And yeah, I was kind of thinking like, man, I would kind of like to get back into Minecraft. The problem is, like, I've still got it installed, but I don't remember anything about how I had it set up, like my shaders and all of that I had installed, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to update those. And if I do, I have no idea where in the world I had put those files, so you know, I'll just have to get in and play around a little bit. But yeah, you know, Minecraft's another thing that just kind of another kind of chill and relaxing one. I thought Pow World would maybe end up being that, but you know, the server that I was playing on, it kind of hit that a dead zone where there really wasn't a whole lot to do. So they stopped hosting the server. I don't even know if we still have our files still around anywhere. But you know, it ended up not lasting as long as I wanted it to. I know that apparently a lot of the good, like the updates and stuff that they've been doing are apparently really good in it. And I really liked the game, but I would essentially have to start fresh. And I'm just kind of thinking about all of the pals that I had. Like, oh man, do I really want to do all of that again? Like, I really liked my base. I loved it. I thought it was really good. But doing all of it a second time, I don't know. I don't think I would enjoy it as much when I'm just retreading old ground, right? Yeah, you know, I've been trying to think of some games that are just kind of like nice little Zatsu games. And I figure Minecraft we can always return. It kind of got me into it. I mean, to be fair, I kind of got the Hollows back into it too. They haven't really done a whole lot in Minecraft for the past year or so. Year and a half. They do the annual sports festival and stuff, and apparently they're not even doing that this year. So yeah, it's been a while, and it was nice to see everyone getting back into it. You know, if I do get back into MC, it's not going to be, you know, hardcore or anything like that. I'm not good at Minecraft. If you guys go back through the VODs through the few times that I have played it, I am not like a Minecraft savant or anything like that. I was the Mega Bloks kid, not a Lego kid. So I'm very limited in what I know how to do or am even good at doing. But it does seem like it's just kind of a nice little relaxing game, while also somewhat being terrifying, right? I don't know. I am of the opinion that Minecraft is a horror game. It's way scarier than it has any right to be. But then again, I'm also a big baby who's very scared at sounds and darkness and things popping up behind me. So, you know, it was bound to happen. It's just the rite of passage, I guess. All right. Well, I guess we're leaving Lux Call for a little bit. I don't know where else to go. Can I go up this way? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. On that bike. But I think that's one of the things that I'm most excited about with the new model, is just getting back in and playing some new games. You know, it's fine playing stuff like FF14, and it is always my main game, right? But at the same time, like, I know that we've got other stuff on the agenda. It's just, I can't fit it all in while I'm trying to do all of this stuff in the background for the channel. It takes a lot of work. You know, I think, I don't know if it was Michi or who it was kind of doing their breakdown of why you should pay your riggers, right? And they were kind of breaking it down into like how much time is actually involved with VTubing. Because you always get people who are like, oh, this is so easy, right? But you got to consider, you know, spending all of this time rigging. I've been spending, on the days that I've actually got a chance to do it, about 3 to 4 hours at a time, right? In addition to some of the other stuff, you know, if I'm doing music production, that can take another couple of hours. If I do stream that day, I try streaming an hour and a half to 2 hours, right? If I think I had anything that was clip-worthy, I've got to wait for the HD to process. I know you're supposed to save, to record and save while you're streaming. I don't have a 2PC setup, so that would just be way too much weight on my single PC to be able to do that. In addition to the space, God, I can only imagine the hard drive space. I don't have enough income to go and buy, you know, one of those 8 terabyte external, you know, solid or external HDDs, right? So I've got to wait for the HD to process. Then I have to download the HD version from YouTube with YouTube DLP. and then I have to actually get in and clip it, right? That will take a couple of hours at the very minimum, especially if I'm doing something like shorts where I need to add the subtitles in. I try adding subtitles, right? And we want to remember that we do have viewers out there that are hearing impaired, so you gotta help them out a little bit, right? And some people that just wanna watch subs. So yeah, that takes a little bit of time. So yeah, I mean, it all adds up very quickly. You know, just the streaming alone, it takes me sometimes a little bit of time to find the right image for me to use in a thumbnail, actually get in and make the thumbnail. That doesn't take too long for me. But then you gotta spend about half an hour before the stream doing your pre-checks and that kind of thing, getting set up. My pre-checks are really not too bad. I mean, I can pretty much get in here and start streaming on the fly if I wanted, but you know, I want to make sure that, you know, I've done the bio breaks, I've stretched, I've gotten my water and all of that, done all of the side stuff. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It's not easy. I know sometimes it feels like I'm just complaining to complain. I'm not really. I'm just trying to do a breakdown of like why it's taking so long or why I have not had a chance to stream as much as I want. It's just there's not enough hours in the day. But ultimately I love it. I really like doing a lot of this stuff and I'm having a great time with it. I just wish I didn't have. I just wish that I didn't have to go to a retail job at the end of it. So, you know, we'll just keep working. All of this work that we're doing on our off time will hopefully pay off in the end, just like starting our own business, right? That's really kind of the mindset that I'm bringing into it. Wow, that was way faster than I thought. Okay. Yeah, how's that feel now, Blue Mages? I don't know who was messaging me. It's just another person looking for an FC, I guess. Sorry. You know, it's odd. To be honest, I don't get all that many FC requests on this character. You would think, like a level 90 with no FC, I would be getting quite a few messages, but I really don't. I don't know if people are intimidated by someone that's like already max level and is for some reason not in an FC despite having a lot of in-game gear, right? I don't know if that just kind of puts people off or something. Yeah, I don't really get a lot of requests. It's not something I would ever take them up on. If I join an FC, it'll be probably with you guys or people that I'm very comfortable with, right? But yeah, I'm just kind of surprised. It's also kind of that way with the RP stuff. You know, you always hear the horror stories on RP servers with the random messages, but I don't really get a whole lot of them. And I don't know why. I don't know if maybe Kyra is too off-putting. Maybe people just aren't into blue lizards. I don't know. But I don't get a lot of the random messages that other people get. I feel like I'm missing out. What's wrong with me? Why do people not want to message me? Am I that intimidating? Is there something wrong with me? What's the deal? It's all right. I'm used to being alone. My heart is cold and black from years of solitude. This is my natural state. Okay, Daxio's a little tough. I mean, Daxio's no lazy Lawrence, but it's taken me a little longer than I thought. There we go. Nice. Alright, we should probably worry about the actual rotation for a second. Alright, my bird's not silenced, right? Okay, good. We can do this. We got this. Daxio's going down just a little longer than normal. Alright, we got time. I'm not getting any badges this place anyways. I don't know what the deal is. Right. That's the other thing, is like I haven't really had a chance to hop in and see what's happening in the RP scene either. it comes and goes. Every couple of months, I'll be like really into the scene, and I'll hop back into some of my like actual RP alts, and you know, I'll get messages then. Some of my friends will be like, "Hey, where have you been?" I go, you know, just busy, right? But I don't really know where things are at nowadays with Ballbung and RP. You know, I did a brief look through the party finder list before I started the stream, and it seemed like there were a couple new venues, but not as many as I thought there would be. Where is it? Underneath? No. What? Where is this? Here, okay. Oh, there we go. Nice. All right. Yeah, I miss it. You know, I get in those moods sometimes where I just want to get an RP. But you know, it's one of those things. It's like anything else, right? Hey, the whims come and go. Sometimes it's RP. Sometimes it's anime feet. You just kind of gotta go where the winds take you. Maybe I'll do that. You know, I'm working the next couple of days, but then I've got a few days off, so you know, I'm gonna be getting a lot of work done during those 4 days off. But hopefully that means we can hop in and stream. But you know, during that downtime, maybe I'll hop in and get a little bit done with some role play and say hi to my old buddies. I miss them. Hopefully they miss me. I don't know. Friendships in Balmung and Crystal in general are very fluid. I don't think anyone ever really forgets you, but it's just kind of common in video games that people will disappear for a time. So we're just all kind of, you just gotta get used to it. It's kind of like me and my real best friend, right? Like we're gonna go to match day here in a couple weeks, take a nice little weekend trip. But like, we really haven't hung out since the last time I mentioned that we hung out on stream, right? It's been, I don't know, about a month or so. Well, that's fine, because when we do hang out, it's, you know, picking up right where we left off, and that's perfectly fine. We're just those kind of bros, man. Like, no matter where life takes us, we'll always be able to pick up where we left off. And you got to kind of take that mindset into online friendship sometimes. All right, so we're about halfway there. I'm excited though. I need to get out of town, man. You know, I don't really get a chance to take vacations. That's what it's like working minimum wage, right? You don't really get a chance to get out. So my vacations are basically a trip to the big city. That's how you know you're in the Midwest, right? You're taking a trip to the city. Oh, buddy. That's your vacation. That 2-hour drive. But honestly, even that little 2-hour drive, getting up there for the weekend, that can be enough. Sometimes you just got to do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a long trip, but anything other than the same old haunts that you're used to, right? If it wasn't so hot, like, I'd like to go out and start, you know, camping. He's a big outdoors guy, my best friend, right? I don't know if he's really had a chance to go lately. You know, he just started a new job, which is really good. He definitely deserved it. But I don't know if he's had a chance to really get out and about. Like, we really want to hit up maybe like one of the closer national parks. Maybe do like a 3-day weekend or something like that. Aren't too many national parks around us, but there are like a lot of national forests and state forests. I will say that is one of the nice things about the Midwest, is that it is very pretty. At least in my area. There's not a whole lot to do, but it is very pretty, to say the least. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I went camping. I think my parents have an old tent that I can borrow, but I don't even really have any equipment for it. There we go. I just remember the one time I went camping, like out on an overnight trip during a film shoot. I was doing some of the on-set photography at the time, and it had been the first time that I had been camping And I don't know, probably like 10 years at this point, right? I'm like, you know what? It's California. I'm not. I just need my tent and my sleeping bag. And then, you know, that's how I learned that deserts get extremely cold in the evening. Because my sleeping bag was definitely not weather rated, right? So I'm just sitting there. I don't think I got maybe half an hour of sleep that night. I was so cold, guys. I was so cold. I don't have a whole lot of padding. I'm basically a living Jack Skellington. The old Slender Man, right? So yeah, I'm just sitting there shivering in the middle of the night. I wake up and I'm like, it's kind of like the times that I wake up and just start streaming here, man. Like I'm just become a man out of time, right? I have no idea how I got through the rest of that day. Thankfully, the day itself was very warm, so I didn't have to worry about a whole lot once the actual filming started. But oh my god, that was how I learned that I really did not know as much about camping as I thought I did. And that was always our go-to growing up. Like, we were very much like the camping family. Like, we never really stayed in hotels. Every time we would do road trips on family vacations and stuff, it would always be to like KOA campgrounds and other local campgrounds and stuff. We were very big campers. So, you know, I thought I knew it all. But that was my experience, that just becoming an adult does not necessarily mean that everything you thought you knew from your childhood is true. Thankfully, that's not a mistake I've made since. I'm quite a bit more well prepared these days when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, never again. Okay. But it could have been worse. It could have been my fellow crew member who was he came down with a bout of the old bubble guts. There's really no other way to describe it, right? And we were miles out there. So yeah, they were driving around probably like, I don't know, 40 miles in any direction, just trying to find a restroom, right? Like, you know, as cold as I got that night, at least I wasn't put into that situation. I've been in those situations before. They're not fun. But thankfully, it wasn't like 40 miles out, right? Yeah, I don't even really know what the goal of some of these are. I'm just killing stuff. I'm so used to them coming in like packs of 3 at this point. All right, man, we're just not having any luck this round. Hopefully we'll get a couple that give us a couple right in a row. That'd be really nice. And it seems like the blue mages got all of the ones that they wanted, so that's good. All right. I really need to see. I think I'm about halfway through the list. I'll take a look next time. Next time we go tournament, see how many more we got to go. But yeah, I want to say I'm about halfway done with all of the weapons. Somewhere around there. Oh no. Got the whimsical music. Here we go. After milkroot saplings, I gotcha. And it seems like up here I'm getting a very good variety of different ones. Like, I haven't seen the collectathon ones pop back up again. So there's that. Alright. This one is taking a little bit longer, though. It will be nice when I'm done with this, though. Then I will never have to worry about Yokai Watch again. Like, it's definitely painful doing it your first time. I'm glad that they do keep bringing it back because, man, doing all of this in one go, especially pre-nerf, I can't imagine how people did this pre-nerf. Like, this is probably one of the worst grinds in FF14. Which is, you know, it's always really funny when I, you know, play Elite Dangerous and stuff, because people always complain about the grinds in Elite Dangerous. And it's like, bro, come over and do some yokai, and then come back and complain to me about the materials in ED, right? Like, this is painful. Materials are nothing. They're mindless. I don't have to think about them. This, different story. Where's the last one? Where's it at? Okay. Where did it go? It's like nowhere to be found. Oh, okay. We just stuck on it? I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. Oh, there it is. All right, Jane. There we go. This poor Sprout. There we go. She's gonna get... Are you gonna tap it? Chocobo greens? Oh no, you can just have some. Where are my greens? Split. Give her 20. Trade. Here we go. I don't need to worry about, I don't sell them. Here we go. That's what she did. She didn't need the milk root sapling. Go. I think it's the first time I've... I don't know who this person is, but she's so nice. He's so nice. He's for this Sprout. I haven't... Alright, welcome to the game. That was a nice little interaction. I don't get those much these days. Let alone just seeing actual genuine new Sprouts. Well, I hope she enjoys her time with her Chocobo. He needs them more than I do. Wait, did she not take them? I don't think she took them. Give me a second here. Where did she go? She's from Madawin, okay. Here we go. All right. Let's get her greens. So not only is she a Sprout, she's a traveler. She's from a different data center. All right. Well, welcome to Balmung. Make sure to doing Paladin. All right. How am I doing on the... Man, I haven't gotten any of the last couple. Okay. Yeah, you want to get your chocobo leveled up. In fact, I probably need to take a look and see how I'm doing on Thavnarian onions. Where's the last one? Oh, there they go. There. 20 trade. All right. Yes. All right. Which one do we want to do next? Man, still no badges. Name. I am curious about some of the names of the quests for the new expansion. Oh no. Oh, she's got a fat cat, so she bought she has her priorities straight, to say the least. Which, speaking of, I need to buy the fat cat. Next time there's a sale. I feel like the last couple of times it's been on sale, I have not had the opportunity. I didn't have the money or the funds. There we go. Alright, so we're doing Daxio. So this one took a little bit longer. Come on. Wait for this to go out. Yeah, you know, it's been a while. I have not really just like met random people out and about that wanted to say hi or do a little bit of RP or anything like that, but it's kind of nice, to be honest. I wish we had more of that. Like, that's very much something that, you know, I remember back in the old school MMO days, right? The early days of WoW and whatnot. You would think being on an RP server, you would see it a little bit more often, but yeah, you generally don't. At most, like, you'll get like a death ball moving around, right? And then they'll invite you to the group. But I don't really have a whole lot of people that actually spend their time like talking to each other or anything. Yeah, it's just kind of nice. Alright, I just hope that she did enough damage to get credit for it. She's doing alright as a tank, not really taking a whole lot of damage. Hey, there we go. What's still... What's got aggro on me? Was it one of these? I would have to assume so. Something's still got aggro on. There we go. Oh, she must have done the that one that was down here. All right, so I guess we're going down to the beehive. Well, at least we got a badge. That took long enough. Ooh, we can do Thunderstruck. Yeah, let's just do it. I mean, she didn't start. Yeah, she hasn't started that one yet. Cool. What level is this one? Oh, 23. Okay. I'd have said level 1 for a second. Okay. If you insist. Oh God. I don't even have my my Reign of Death. Well, you know, can't win them all. It would have been nice if they mentioned during the job live letter that they were going to be doing some adjustments to the leveling in terms of like what you get when, and I'm sure they might still do some adjustments. Like, I know one of the big threads on Something Awful on our big Final Fantasy XIV one, they've been going through each of the jobs really and posting all of the old patch notes and stuff and kind of showing what all has changed over the years. like what the big differences between each patch were, and it's kind of interesting to kind of see everything from like they've been probably doing it since like 5.0 on, and this is all recent that they've been kind of reposting it, just kind of prepping for Dawn Trail. Yeah, you know, there were a lot of changes that I forgot about here and there. Like, a lot of them are what you would expect. Potency and things like that. But yeah, when they started, you know, a couple times they'll change some of the levels around. There we go. Or move a couple things in the order. But then again, I still remember when they finally uncoupled... there we go. I still remember when they uncoupled the advanced jobs like Bard from having to like level up 2 different jobs. Like, it used to be you had to get 1 to 30 and 1 to 15, I think, if I remember right. And like there were a bunch of shared actions, and you would like choose which of the role actions you wanted to keep and all of this. It was very convoluted. I feel like a lot of the people that came in during like Shadowbringers and whatnot kind of missed out on that. Like, everyone knows about all of the big changes from like 1.0, but I feel like there's still a lot of new players that don't realize how significantly it's changed just from like Heavensward and stuff, right? Yeah, like it used to be you had to level up 2 different jobs just to get your advanced job, and it was really kind of wild. Yeah. Yeah, most of the big changes really haven't been too bad. Like Red Mage, like I'm always looking at it from that kind of perspective, right? Like Red Mage really hasn't changed a whole lot. We don't need to. We're the perfect job, right? But like Machinist has changed a lot, and Monk has definitely changed a lot. Ninjas had a few things here and there. Samurais are still mulling about chitin, I guess. So, you know, there's that. Oh. Alright, let's do this. Let this be the last one, please. Please, I'm begging you. Alright, I want to be free. Alright, but yeah, you know, I don't have to work until 4 tomorrow. So I might hang around a little bit after the stream and RP or something like that. I'll just have to see how I'm feeling. All right. They did provide another update too. Another thing that I'm excited about that's kind of tangentially RP related. The Fantasia changes sound really nice. Like, one, you are getting a free Fantasia with Dawn Trail. So, like, you can get, like, up to 4 free ones or something like that if you've got, like, all of the collector's editions and if you had the old Veterans rewards. Yeah, they're gonna add the quest that will just let you get a free Fantasia that explains how Fantasias work. It's like an introductory quest, right? So that's nice. But they're also doing it where you use your Fantasia and you have an hour before the changes are set. So if you want to make any changes, you have an hour to do it. Like, you get in there and it doesn't quite look in-game quite how you thought it would. You have plenty of opportunity to actually go through and change or try different races and all of that stuff. I thought that was a really good change. And I feel like it's something that other MMOs have done before. I don't think it's necessarily standard in a lot of them, but I know of a few where that's kind of like standard practice, right? So that's really good. And then, yeah, he said that I think it's like the 31st, they're going to have the new benchmark out. Like, it's still very much kind of fluid in terms of timing and stuff. But they're trying to get it by the 31st. Obviously, it's not like their top priority right now. They've got a lot going on that they got to worry about. That's probably more important than the benchmark. Or there's a siren going by. But yeah, they have officially given a date for it, so that's really good too. You know, with the new Fantasias and all of that, and with some of the upgrades to the benchmark, I'll probably get in, take a look around, and see if I need to change my my Femeroth at all, because I definitely am gonna make one, and I've definitely got the one I want saved. But yeah, you always want to do some of the fine tuning. It's God knows I've been doing enough of that lately. So yeah, I think that was really kind of most of the bases that they kind of covered with the job one. There weren't really a whole lot of big surprises, I don't think. The Fantasia was a nice one. I really was not expecting to hear like Fantasia news during the job live letter of all things, but it was a welcome addition nonetheless. Okay, where are we at? Scholars Codex. Here's a job I haven't touched in a while. I think that one's still on the old list to get up to 80. I am very excited about Solar Bahamut. That does look kind of cool. Alright, now get rid of all this trash. There we go. I just make sure that I don't accidentally get rid of one of my weapons. Cool. All right, so I think that did it. I think that's good enough for now. So I'm gonna head back and throw some of this stuff in the old armoire. The armoire. It's kind of crazy how much just getting 2 of these weapons drains you after a while. Granted, most of my muscle memory right now is flying spaceships, so I'm kind of getting back into actually doing FF14 stuff. I don't know, maybe I've just been using my wrist too much doing all of this rigging, but it's feeling kind of sore. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. You know, we accomplished our goal. 2 more weapons. Oh yeah, I gotta make sure that I actually check that off the old spreadsheet. But yeah, we're moving along. I think that does make this halfway. So there's that. Yeah, you know, thanks a ton for coming and hanging out. You know, I wanted to do a little celebration stream for hitting this check mark, this benchmark of progress for what we're doing. Again, you could take a look and at least see my face and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna do the whole shadowy model reveal. You'll see the model probably in the debut thumbnail. But, you know, I at least wanted to kind of show you where I'm at so far, and let you know what's going on. So that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the evening. I'm gonna hang back and relax. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe catch up reading some Sailor Moon or finally getting into Bridgerton. Finally. But again, thanks a ton for coming out and hanging out with me and seeing me get a couple more of these weapons off the old list. But yeah, the big news is the rigging is done. So, you know, keep up to date. I can't post video on Blue Sky, but I've been doing most of my updates over there. So, you know, it is open to the public. Feel free to join Blue Sky. And you can find most of my updates there, but any of the big news I am still trying to post on Twitter, so you can also follow me there as well. And then obviously we've got here. So that being said, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your evening and the middle of your week. I know it's a bit of a grind, but you know, you'll get through it. I believe in you. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye bye.